having me. As he said, my name is David Wilson Brown. So let's talk districts, right? Before I talk too much about me, the explanation is, yeah, I ran in the 10th because I stood against Patrick McHenry last election. We had a great showing. I was underfunded. I was out of the 9 contested Republican seats last year in North Carolina. I raised the least, but I had the 4th biggest shift in vote percentage. What we did on the ground with an all-volunteer staff was, I think, pretty momentous. And I was hoping to run this election carrying on that momentum with my name recognition and the structural foundation for the organization that I had to carry on and continue that fight against Patrick McHenry. I had a really good debate against him, by the way. If you look for the footage online, you might be impressed. But anyway, so here we are now. Now the legislature, well, first the court said you got to redo it. The legislature said, okay, we'll give it a try. We know what they did. They still went with the partisan gerrymandering. They got it to 8-5 if you look at it from historical perspectives. But the courts have said, whoa, don't file yet, candidates. We're going to look at this. So on December 2nd, they're going to start looking at it. Now, if they get that, whatever they're going to do, and potentially anything that comes, who knows if it gets appealed or what have you. If they get all that done before December 13th, 15th, we'll still have a March primary. If they don't, if it drags on a little bit of time, then that means we'll probably get the congressional primary pushed back to May, which will cost the state, I think someone told me, $10 million. So the hope is that we can get it resolved before then. So the districts we have now by the legislature, yes, they put me in Gaston County all the way up to Ashe County at this Virginia state line. They took most of the counties that were in the district that I had, except for my home county, Gaston County, which is the most populous in this new district, Cleveland County, and half of Rutherford. So I'm meeting a bunch of new people because I'm proactive. If this is the map we end up with, that's fine. We'll run in this map and we'll run hard. Unfortunately, what this does, of course, aside from giving me a different opponent, there is a woman named Jean Supin who was running in Watauga County, and fine candidate. She would potentially be in a primary with me if she sticks with it, stays in this same district. I truly believe that this district is not going to survive the courts, and I believe that, however, that Burke County will likely come with Gaston. My old county, or my old district, had half of Buncombe County. That's a big chunk of where I got my votes. Buncombe will be restored. I firmly believe that. So to make up for that, whatever comes of this southern, western portion, I think Burke's going to come with us. I feel strongly about that. I've seen several maps that had all sorts of machinations, and almost through all of it, Burke is going to stay with Gaston in that way. So, good chance I'm fighting for you. To give you a little background, I am an IT consultant. I work out of Charlotte, but I also travel the U.S. I help corporations better organize their information and collaborate. And that's kind of the approach I want to take going to Washington. I think one of the things that I hear so many people talk about, not so much in this side of the parties, but overall, is they don't like their taxes going away and being wasted. One of the things I want to do is help make Washington more efficient, and then you get more value for the taxes you pay in. Taxes are necessary. They have to be there to fund our nation, to drive forward the things that are important to us, our military, our schools, all these types of important things that are the backbone of why we are the greatest nation in the world. That comes from the taxes that we pay in. All these attempts to privatize, you know what that is? That's a way that somebody's friend can get a dip into your taxpayer money, and I'm tired of that garbage. We are going to fight to make sure that we get better value for the tax money we put in. One of our biggest, I was just talking earlier, one of our biggest issues obviously is the environment. We have to address the needs of the environment. Number one way to do that, in my belief, is go back in history. Who knows about the WPA and the CCC? All right, I want to bring back a new WPA or CCC or a combination thereof to do the things that are super necessary for America right now. Fix our crumbling infrastructure, and bring clean energy initiatives to help save our environment and clean up our environment like the CCC did. We put people directly to work. We don't waste taxpayer money going to some corporate profit, some fat cat getting money off of what we need to do. We'll put people to work, and that's going to be necessary because I can tell you from being in tech, we're not losing jobs to immigrants. We're losing jobs to automation and AI, and it's going to get worse. Whole sectors of our economy are going to get cut away in a very, very short amount of time. In 10 years, they predict we will have no human truckers. I'm telling you, that's what's predicted. So, well, I'm just saying that's what's predicted. They predict that we're going to lose like millions of jobs in a very short amount of time to automation and AI, and it's already happening. If you look at manufacturing, if you look at call centers, all this type of stuff is getting replaced already by automation. So we have to be ahead of the curve in how we make sure that we put people to work in good paying jobs that are necessary to our community's growth. And that's what I want to fight for. I think we could have a really clear indicator of a clean energy, a green energy, if you want to call it that, corridor here in Western North Carolina. I think we're a great place to do the kind of things that are necessary to be the linchpin for this kind of movement. So that's one of my big concerns. Obviously, healthcare. We have to do something about healthcare. We cannot be the greatest nation in the world and allow people to go bankrupt or die because they cannot afford things that they can afford. When we are told of people who are, I'm going to get emotional here, that are having to ration their insulin and taking less than the prescribed amount because they can't afford to. What nation, how can we dare call ourselves the greatest nation in the world if we allow that to happen? So we have to fight for a better healthcare solution. I think that Medicare for All is the solution, but I'm open to understanding what the solution needs to be that works for America. We can have a good healthcare system that covers everybody and doesn't cost us. We're paying more than we need to pay. We need to cut out a middleman operation of private insurance that their sole profit motive is denying your claim. We need to get rid of that. When we get rid of that, then we have no gatekeeper to your health care. And that's what I want to fight for, is to make sure that you have the access that you need. You can see the doctors that you need. And we don't end up, my concern about a public option is that we're going to end up in a two-class healthcare system. So I'm a little afraid of that, and I don't think we're going to be able to afford that kind of system. So, and then lastly, I truly believe that we are going to be better off as a nation if we invest more in education. Whether that's paying our teachers better, whether that's making sure that the kids have the school and have the information that they need. We need to make sure our coming schools are taken care of, but more importantly, we need to have good, hard-paying teachers that know what they are doing to help guide our students for what the jobs are of tomorrow. And we can help them. We can help them develop the programs to make sure that our kids are being informed of what they need to know for that job of tomorrow. So those are my big focuses. Obviously, there's a lot going on in this nation. We've got to end the corruption in Washington. We've got to get that guy out of the White House who is diminishing it at every turn, every bend. The Secretary of the Navy quit the other day because he's wanting a war criminal to be given his retirement, full retirement with keeping his pin and all that kind of garbage. That's not who we need. That's not who America stands for, is a guy who would do something like that and spit on the face of our military, because that's what he's doing. So we have to work hard together to win. 2020 is our year to do it. I hope these maps are going to do it, but I definitely think moving further, we're going to do that. And we got some big races this year, not just the congressional races. We've got a senator here in replacing Tom Tillis. We've got to make that happen. We got to keep our Democratic governor in place. We got to move the ball forward in our North Carolina legislature and break the majority there completely so we can actually have some progressive movement forward for North Carolina. We desperately need that. We're only going to do that if we're all working together. The reason the Republicans work so well together is, man, they are a machine. And they come down from on high, and this is who you're going to do and who you're going to vote for. Everybody works together. I pledge that if I am running in the district that includes Burke County, anybody who's running in this district can come to me, and I will be your go-between between the bigger statewide races and what's going on here in Burke County. Because that's the only way we're going to do this, is if we all work together. And if you talk to the people in the counties that I worked for before, they'll tell you that's what I'm all about. I'm working for all Democrats, not just for myself. So I want us all to work together and get out the vote. Make sure as a party, if you're not already doing it, look up who the newest registered Democrats are in this county and go meet them. And make sure to have like a welcome wagon to invite them in and get them active. And then let's start going through the polls and going through who hasn't been active in a while and get them active again and talk about how important their vote means. Because that's how they win in a gerrymandered district. They win because they have too many people believe that it's unwinnable and that your vote doesn't count. And these margins, to have a 10-3, what they had before, those margins were thin enough. We could have won in just about any race if the right person was in running and if the right people got everyone out to vote. So let's do that together and let's work together.